Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to be exploring a really fascinating idea, how to find incredible clarity in math and in life, even when you feel like you're starting with barely any information. It's kind of like a giant puzzle, and today we'll be bridging the gap between algebraic formulas and real-world integrity.
All right, here's our game plan for today. 1. Starting with what you have. 2. The point-slope formula. 3. Solving examples together. 4. Your homework challenge. And 5. The power of godly learning. Let's get right into it.
So, part 1. Starting with what you have.
There's this fantastic piece of ancient wisdom that actually hits the nail on the head for our math lesson today. Matthew 5:37 says, "But let your yes be yes and your no, no." It's basically a reminder that God wants us to be totally clear, honest, and direct with the information we have. No guessing games, no making stuff up. Just pure, honest clarity.
And that brings us to the main idea here, speaking clearly with what we know. Think about it. In real life, you almost never have all the answers right off the bat, right? You usually have to just start with the limited info right in front of you. Well, guess what? Algebra is exactly the same way. You don't always get the y-intercept handed to you on a silver platter. Sometimes all you've got is just one single random point on a graph and the slope, the steepness of that line. So the point-slope form? It's basically the math version of letting your yes be yes. It allows us to speak truthfully and write an equation quickly, working perfectly with the exact pieces we already have.
Moving on to part 2, the point-slope formula.
Okay, here's the formula. Y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. Now, I know that looks like a whole alphabet soup of letters, but honestly, it is absolutely brilliant once you know the secret. The m simply stands for our slope, and that x1, y1, that is literally just the specific coordinate point on the line that we already know. The regular y and the regular x stay exactly as they are. They represent all the other possible points on our line. So to use this thing, all you have to do is drop your known slope into the m spot and plug your known coordinates right into the x1 and y1 spots. That's the whole shebang.
All right, let's put this into practice. Part 3, solving examples together. Let's look at our first example. We're starting with the point 2, 3, and a slope of 4. We just plug those straight into our formula, which gives us y minus 3 equals 4 times the quantity x minus 2. And boom, you're in point-slope form. You've already spoken clearly with what you know. Now, if we want to convert this into the slope-intercept form, which is probably what you're more used to seeing, we just simplify. We distribute that slope of 4 right into the parentheses. 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. That leaves us with y minus 3 equals 4x minus 8. To get y all by itself, we just add 3 to both sides. Negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5. So our final equation is y equals 4x minus 5. See how seamlessly that comes together? Let's step it up a notch with example 2. This time, we're dealing with a negative point and a negative slope. Now, pay close attention here because it's easy to get tripped up. We've got the point negative 1, 6, and a slope of negative 2. When we plug it in, remember the formula is x minus x1. Since our x1 is negative 1, we actually have x minus negative 1, which beautifully flips into x plus 1. So our starting equation is y minus 6 equals negative 2 times the quantity x plus 1. Next, we simplify by distributing that negative 2. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x, and negative 2 times positive 1 is negative 2. So now we're looking at y minus 6 equals negative 2x minus 2. Finally, we isolate y by adding 6 to both sides. Negative 2 plus 6 gives us a positive 4, and our final equation, y equals negative 2x plus 4. Okay, let's do a really quick one for example 3. This one's an absolute confidence builder. What if our starting point is right at the origin, 0, 0, and our slope is just 1? Well, we plug it in, y minus 0 equals 1 times the quantity x minus 0. To simplify, y minus 0 is just y, and x minus 0 is just x. Multiply that by a slope of 1, and you still just get x. So the whole entire thing simplifies down to just y equals x. It perfectly illustrates how wonderfully simple the math gets when we start right at the origin.
Now, it's your turn. Part 4, your homework challenge.
Here are 5 challenges for you to tackle. For each set of coordinates and slopes you see here, I want you to first write the equation in point-slope form. Speak clearly with the facts you're given. Then, distribute and isolate y to simplify it down. Go ahead and pause this explainer, write these down, and apply the exact steps we just practiced. You have the tools, you've got the knowledge, now bring the clarity.
And finally, part 5, the power of godly learning.
Let's take a step back and look at the big picture here. Think about the difference between these two paths. Education without morality creates someone who might be incredibly smart on paper, but who just keeps making bad choices that end up hurting themselves and the people around them. But on the flip side, we have education with morality. This is where we intertwine what we learn in the classroom with our spiritual integrity. It leads to genuine spiritual growth and a much, much deeper understanding of the world. Seriously, ask yourself, what is the point of being highly educated, of memorizing every math formula in the book, if we don't have the moral compass to actually make good choices? Education without morality ultimately just leads to pain. But when we combine the two, that's when we unlock our true potential.
And that really brings us to our final thought for today. Romans 8, 6, and 7 promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. That peace of mind, that's exactly what we experience when we engage with learning the right way. When you can look at a tricky math problem, honestly apply a formula, just like letting your yes be yes, and then step right back into your daily life with that exact same commitment to honesty and clarity, that is when you experience true peace of mind. So, as you tackle your homework today, I want to leave you with this question. Will you use the knowledge you've gained today just to pass the test, or will you let the discipline of honest, clear thinking completely transform the way you make choices in your everyday life? Keep seeking clarity, keep making those good choices, and we'll see you in the next explainer.